Hey, this is Peter from Marin Service Course. I want to quickly show you how to set up SRAM's new Eagle Axis transmission. First place I started was installing the bottom bracket. We're using a ceramic speed bottom bracket, so I'm using their provided spacers. I spaced out the crank correctly, greased the spindle, slid it in, torqued the drive side crank to spec, and then used the preload adjuster to get rid of any slop in the system. I then greased the free hub and installed the cassette, torqued that to spec. The next place I went is the rear derailleur and the shifter. I paired those the same way you've always paired Axis stuff, by clicking and holding, pairing the shifter, and taking it out of pairing mode. In that process, I plugged in what frame, the size, the shock flip chip orientation, the chainring size, and it'll spit out the correct chain length. And that's how you know how to cut it to length before you even put it on the bike. Makes it super easy. The other thing it tells you is the setup key position. And on this bike, we're in setup key B. So I then hung the derailleur. Very easy process. There's a little bushing that's red. You push that into the frame here. You don't need to add any grease to that. You then slide the derailleur up onto the frame, and with a greased bolt, the silver guy, thread it in, and it doesn't need to be tight. Just thread it so it's almost tight. Then threw the wheel in, put the axle in, didn't tighten it down all the way. So wheel's loose, derailleur's loose, and here we are. So let's get the chain on. And we're going to take it out of lock mode, which is nice for getting the wheel in and out. And we're going to put it into setup mode. So we'll pull the cage forward and then push the key. So now we are in the B position. And this can be toggled between A and B depending on what is needed. Next step is we're going to shift to the cog that has this red ring, and that's the kind of setup ring that we're going to be going to. So shift up to that. One more. Okay. So now what we want to do is pull the derailleur back so there's no slop in the system. And then I pedal backwards just to make sure that all the teeth are engaged. I take an 8mm wrench and we torque this down to 25 Newton meters. 25. Then we go ahead and tighten the axle on the other side to the manufacturer's specified torque, and torqued. Please use an actual torque wrench. The next thing we want to do is take it out of setup mode by just pushing the derailleur forward. You'll hear a pop, and now you have good chain tension, and you should be able to shift around. Looks pretty good. One thing I want you to see is there's a little line on the derailleur and there's a little line on this kind of backing plate. And you want those to be in line. If you were to hit this derailleur, it's going to rotate the derailleur. It's supposed to be able to blow away and take an impact, but your derailleur might stay like that. So if you notice that you hit it in a ride and your shifting is all weird, you can always stop and look, and if those aren't aligned, you're going to want to push your derailleur back till you feel a hard stop, and those will then be in line. And I'll zoom in so you can kind of see what that looks like. And I'm talking about the little line on the silver thing and the little line on the black piece in the back of the derailleur. And it is designed to be able to move away, but it will stay like that. So push it forward. The other cool feature is It's designed to take a hit, so I'm gonna bash this derailleur really quick. As you can see, it just shifts back. No damage to the frame because it is all bolted to the axle. Pretty trick and easy to set up. So one thing to note, please use a torque wrench when you're doing this. I have one built into my arm. I was born with it. So be safe out there. Have fun. Leave any comments, any questions. Happy to answer anything. Have a good one.